Hello everyone, welcome to Lukman IS. Today we are going to have the Hindu analysis of 24th November 2020. So let us see which are the important articles in today's The Hindu newspaper. Yes, these are the articles for our examination, for mains purpose and for prelims purpose. We have segregated them and let us see one by one and take input for our examination. First article on page number 6, editorial page. Yes, the context of the article here that recently Kerala government has amended its Kerala Police Act 2011 and included one particular section, section 118A, which provides for punishment and imprisonment for such kind of online activities wherein there is defamation of other persons by, let's say, non-state और वी कैन से अदर सिटीजन्स. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे बेसिकली इट इज नॉट ओनली अबाउट डिफेमेशन ऑफ एनी पब्लिक फिगर, रादर इट इज अबाउट डिफेमेशन ऑफ एनी अदर पर्सन. So yes, there are provisions in IPC already regarding that defamation case, and yes, some important judgment of Supreme Court regarding IT Act and Section 66A, Shreya Singhal case, which is very important for our examination GS2 polity purpose. And here the freedom of speech and expression which can be curbed because of such provisions, so that's why it has been criticized for some period, ये जो केरला का जो amendment है, and that's why now government, Kerala government today itself has said that it will put stop to that amendment, or we can say withdraw that amendment, and further we can say discussion and deliberation will happen on that particular law. Okay, so this is what the article is talking about, amendments to Kerala Police Act. So Kerala has sought to make amendments to keeping it abase its obnoxious proposal to abridge free speech by countering unbridled powers, conferring unbridled powers to police to arrest anyone expressing or dissenting any matter deemed threatening, abusive, humiliating and defamatory to a person or class of person in any manner. Now unbridled powers, or we can say that why this has been criticized, the major aspect here is that the such kind of criminal offense has been called for, we can say, unbailable offense here. So this is actually the problematic aspect here. At the same time, the kind of punishment it has raised from 2 years to 3 years. Actually there is punishment up to 2 years in IPC itself. However, it has negated that provision, and therefore the article is also saying that the state government should have consulted with the central government for that purpose, and it goes against the concept of federalism, or we can say that separation of powers here, not separation of power, division of power between state and central government. Okay, yes. So critical analysis in Shreya Singhal versus Union of India 2015, the Supreme Court has struck down the section 66A. Now UPSC has already asked on this section 66A in GS2 paper, the question. Okay, so the section had criminalized the sending of any message through computer resource that was grossly offensive, menacing or caused annoyance, inconvenience, danger, insult, injury, intimidation. Okay, so this provision was there in IT Act 2000 section 66A, and this was somehow arbitrarily used or invoked by the government or administration from time to time, and whenever the freedom of speech was curbed under this section, and that's why Supreme Court has struck down that. Okay, so court found the offense was overbroad, that is, it was defined so widely that both innocent and offensive messages could be brought under its habit. So this innocent messages, wherein we can say that the freedom of speech was curbed here in those innocent messages, right? The same judgment for the same reason also struck down the section 118D of Kerala Police Act, which made causing annoyance in the indecent manner through verbal comments or telephone on an offense. So earlier this section 118D of Kerala Act was also struck down along with this section 66A in the same judgment itself. Okay, the new offense is also vaguely defined and is made cognizable, whereas criminal defamation under the IPC is non-cognizable. Okay, so here we can say that the cognizable offense, not bailable. sorry, here it is talking about cognizable, while in IPC it is non-cognizable offence. Okay, so yes, further the section 118A lays down the 3-year prison term. It is 2 years under the IPC. By making defamatory utterances cognizable and raising the prison term, the Kerala Ordinance effectively amends the IPC and CRPC, a move for which centre's assent is mandatory and it is in conflict with central laws, right? At the same time, the ordinance itself required prior presidential assent. So at present it was, let's say, promulgated by the governor. However, such kind of ordinance which seeks to bring changes in the central laws, therefore it requires the presidential assent. Okay, so this is the critical analysis of whatever the amendment that Kerala government sought to its Police Act. So we know that the law and order at police is the state subject. So that's why each and every state has its own Police Act, but that should be in accordance with, we can say, central laws, IPC, CRPCs, and therefore whenever there is a conflict, it should get the assent, mandatory assent from the central government, and such kind of ordinance required prior presidential assent also. Fine. So we can bring this in freedom of speech and expression. So almost every year somehow question revolves around this freedom of speech and expression in GS2 paper. You can go through the previous year questions in GS2 polity as question paper. Directly question has been asked on section 66A and its misuse. Various cases have been there in past, and how Supreme Court has struck down this because of, let's say, this curbing of innocent voice here. Fine. Next. Yes, some of the COVID-19 mortality was avoidable. Yes, here the writers of the article have done some study regarding various rates of mortality due to COVID-19 in different states, and this is how the study gives the relationship between the kind of mortality rate observed in the state and the investment done in public health infrastructure. At the same time, it gives relationship between the economic development of that state and the COVID mortality rate also. Okay, so this is important for let's say taking input for our GS2 paper. Governance aspect, human resource development, health is important aspect in GS2. Along with that, essay paper. Fine. So public health expenditure. Context here, the state with higher per capita income often had higher death rates. It suggests that wealth of the state has not acted as shield against death for section of its population. So here you can give the examples of Maharashtra, Delhi, Punjab, Haryana. So these states are observing, even we have observed this high death rate in Kerala also. Okay. So such states which are let's say developed state, or we can say having high wealth, even Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, but they such kind of, let's say, economic development has not shielded its population. At the same time, the state-wise pattern of public expenditure on health is inversely related to per capita income of the state. So though there is high per capita income among the states, however, there is let's say inverse relationship. That means those developed states have lower investment in public health infrastructure or public let's say expenditure on health. Okay, so here strictly put, the health spent on of richer state in relation to their domestic product is lower than that of poorer states. Okay. So the best example here is given that northeastern states. So though they are poor states, especially regarding GDP, state GDP, but they are among the highest spenders on public health in the country, and they have been successfully registering the lower death rates as compared to rest of the country. So this is how the relationship is. We can say there is a divergence between economic development and the aspects where the government should focus, or let's say the public expenditure should have focus on the health. In the end, it is giving let's say that Delhi air pollution is not the, let's say, specific environmental challenge here, rather it is the governance challenge to be tackled. How? Like Delhi's battle with poor air quality cannot overcome through more money with its government. It is closely related to governance challenge at the heart of India's democracy. Air pollution in Delhi is caused by a combination of stubble burning in the neighboring states and rampant construction activities, motor vehicles, garbage burning within its own territory, all of which can be mitigated through public policy intervention. This is very important. We can say that the governance has been poor and that's why we are not able to tackle that. It is relatively better off section of the population that is impairing the lives of rest by their pursuit of personal gain. Very good statement that can be asked in your ethics paper also. What it is saying, that it is relatively the better off section of the population that is impairing the lives of the rest by their pursuit of personal gain. That means those rich people, or we can say those who are having capital, industrialists, or we can say that those having the, we can say, cars, or we can say luxury vehicles, they do not care about the kind of pollution in the atmosphere they are contributing here, and the impact of that is on lives of other, especially poor people, larger impact. And some such kind of examples can be given along with that air pollution, other aspects also. Okay. So the same kind of question statement has been taken for question. It is relatively the better off section of the population that is impairing the lives of the rest by the pursuit of personal gain. Elucidate. Here elucidate means you need to explain the statement with the help of examples, or elaborate with the help of examples. So you can give many such examples here, and one of that here is of, we can say, air pollution that is being caused here, right? So yes, such kind of question can be tackled. Try to attempt such questions because they can be asked surely in your GS2 paper, ethics paper, or GS1 paper also, society perspective. Fine. Oxford vaccine is 70% effective. Yes, along with Pfizer and Moderna, now the Oxford vaccine, AstraZeneca company has said that COVID-19 vaccine would be as much as 90% effective. Now the vaccine on an average prevented 70% of COVID-19 cases in late stage trials in Britain and Brazil, and the success rate rose to 90% of the vaccine was administered as half the dose followed by the full dose. Okay. So yes, this is again the better development. Why? Because AstraZeneca shots does however have some advantages or offerings from the US rivals, which are Pfizer and Moderna. The drugs cost to governments works out at just few dollars a shot, fraction of price of shots from Pfizer and Moderna, which use a more unconventional technology. Right. So this is the plus point, that this is cost effective, we can say, vaccine as compared to Pfizer and Moderna. However, these two which reported their vaccine prevented around 95% of the cases had set the bar for success sky high. Okay, so that much it is not having any kind of, so these two vaccines has somehow a better success rate as compared to this AstraZeneca pharma major of let's say UK. Fine. So yes, along with that, earlier also we have discussed about the success rate of Pfizer and Moderna in earlier lectures. So let us have a follow up on that also. Bhutan border village on disputed land. Yes, Chinese media claimed that new border village built by China near Bhutan was on Chinese territory, but released images of village shows its location on territory dispute by two countries. However, we can understand here that Bhutan's officials have denied such village was on their territory. So, Global Times confirmed that the village of Pangda had been newly built and residents moved in there in September. You can see the location here. This is Bhutan, and the location of this Pangda village is just besides the earlier, we can say that the location of Yes. So earlier there was the conflict between India and China in Doklam Plateau in 2017, and it is just located near this tri-junction Doklam Plateau. You can see here, this is the location of Doklam Plateau here, and which is near this village is located near. So why it is important? Because China has in the past sought to bolster its territorial claims in disputed areas by building civilian settlements there, as on disputed South China Sea islands. So similar kind of, let's say, activities may be done by the China in Bhutan along the border of Bhutan here. However, the Bhutan officials have denied such kind of village in its own territory. We'll have follow up if there is any substance in future. The articles will appear on this development also. Right, China prepares probe to bring back lunar rocks. Now, the name of the probe is Chang 5 probe, named after a mythical Chinese moon goddess. Right, it aims to shovel up lunar rocks and soil to help scientists learn about moon's origin, formation, and volcanic activities on its surface. Right, the Chinese probe will collect 2 kg of surface material from the previously unexplored area known as Oceanus Procellarum, or ocean of storms, which consist of vast lava plains. Okay, ocean of storms. This term, this location on let's say moon, which has been unexplored up till now. Ocean of storms. If successfully, let's say done, China will be the only third country in the world to retrieve sample from the moon, following US and Soviet Union in 1960s and 70s. Okay, so yes, earlier it is done by US and Soviet Union, USSR at that time, and China will be the third country to bring back such material from the surface of moon. Okay, so name here Chang 5. This is important for prelims examination development, because this will be the third country to do such kind of, let's say, exploration, space exploration on moon surface. And ये जो term है ocean of storms, जहाँ से वो लाने वाले हैं, lava plains है वहाँ पे, वहाँ से वो लेके आएंगे, right? So here what we are what Chinese scientists wants to do is understand moon's origin, formation, and volcanic activities on its surface. Fine, okay. Some important facts and data that on page number 7, the Hindu does some analysis on important issues, trends, socio-economic and political issues. So here also it is talking about the kind of impact that COVID-19 and lockdown period had on the school education. For example, you can see about 60% of students from the government schools did not attend online classes, according to survey of teachers and parents across 5 states. Smartphone availability was a major reason. Right. So here we can talk about the digital divide, especially in terms of infrastructure, right? As most teachers found it difficult to maintain an emotional connect with the students, the quality of education suffered. Consequently, an overwhelming majority of parents were willing to send their children to school if they reopen. Chhattisgarh, MP, Rajasthan have implemented online learning in public schools, but Karnataka, Uttarakhand have not. Okay. तो कंपेयर करके उन्होंने कुछ इंडिकेटर्स दिए गए. फॉर एग्जांपल एक्सेस इश्यूज, चिल्ड्रन अटेंडिंग ऑनलाइन क्लासेस, चिल्ड्रन फॉर होम स्मार्टफोन्स वेर इजीली अवेलेबल, ऐसे वहाँ पे कंपैरिजन दिया है. एंड यू कैन सी सच काइंड ऑफ डेटा हियर among those states, right? So yes, lack of connect, and we can say that a bad fit, over 60% of parents said they did not find online classes suitable for their children. Technical shortcomings were there, did not have adequate knowledge and experience of online teaching platform and models. The teachers did not have such kind of knowledge. Risky conclusion, contrary to popular perception, 90% of parents were willing to send their children to school when they opened with necessary precautions. So yes, we can understand that this is taken from source Myths of Online Education, Field Research Group, Azim Premji University survey that was conducted in September month. So try to take these inputs, data, facts to support your arguments regarding online education, right? So surely this year mains will have question on online education in, suppose it is in GS2 paper, or it can be like essay on online education surely this year. So you need such kind of important data and facts from authenticate surveys, right? Okay. So some important facts, or you can say captions and quotations. It is relatively, ये जो हमने अभी statement देखा था first article में, so it is relatively the better off section of the population that is impairing the lives of the rest by their pursuit of personal gain. It can be used in ethics paper also or essay paper also. States with higher per capita, ये जो हमने एक study का conclusion हमने पढ़ा था, right? So here it can be used in GS2 and essay. Fine? Okay. So yes, these were important articles from today's The Hindu newspaper. For further information on editorial discussion classes or ED classes wherein in-depth analysis of mains related issues and articles is done by Ansari sir and team. For further information on that course, you can contact Lukman IS. Thank you.